This is Ron, N6 Echo Echo. I like to use remote ham radio for RTTY contesting. In this part one video, we'll get you up and running. Basic RTTY on remote ham radio using the WebDX or Universal Console based and the N1MM logger. There will be a part two video, which will show you how to set up for serious RTTY contesting on remote ham radio. So let's go ahead and get started. Well, we have to have the following apps installed on your PC. The first is the Remote Ham Radio Desktop app. You can find out how to install that by going to the Remote Ham Radio knowledge base, and there will be a Remote Ham Radio Desktop app instruction tutorial. Then you'll also have to install the app set called Smart SDR, which includes the Smart SDR app as well as the Smart Cat and Smart DAX that come along as a package. You will also have to install N1MM plus logger. You can get that by going to the N1MM plus website, full install if you've never done it before. And you can find that in Google quickly. We'll also need to install a copy of an instance of the MMTTY, RTTY decoding program. You can get that by going to a site called hamsoft.ca. Hamsoft, all one word, hamsoft.ca. Again, you can Google MMTTY install, download. And I think that should do it. Okay, so let's get started here. I don't know what this, I got this on. Okay, got it on the desktop unnecessarily. Okay, let's go ahead and open up Remote Ham Radio app. It's the desktop app. You need to have that running to do anything with RTTY. Let's find a station that's available. And here's Jefferson's available. Fine. Station Jefferson will connect to that. And if it's not already, and it probably won't be, select a band like 20 meter or even 15, maybe might even be open this time of the day, 15 meter RTTY. Change the mode over here to RTTY. Turn this down a little. Okay, and then two critical things you need to do. One of them that's critical is you need this TX DAX to turn on in order to be able to transmit AFSK. Recommended, but not critical, is you have to have the AGC slow for RTTY, or that's preferred anyway. You don't have to, but that's the preferred AGC level. And I think that's all that's critical here on the desktop app once you're connected to a station. Let's now go ahead and open up Smart Cat. We will not use Smart SDR yet. Part two, we'll get into that. Part one, open up Smart Cat. In opening up Smart Cat, get that on the desktop. We need to find the radio. There it is in the chooser and connect to it. We want the station to be WebDX. That's what you need up here. And when you select WebDX, it will open up whatever COM ports you have open. Now, I created COM port 4. Let me show you how that takes place. I'll remove it first and then show you. By the way, there is on the Remote Ham Radio knowledge base, there is already, oh, why did that not remove that? Yes. There is in the knowledge base, there it goes. an explanation of SmartCat, but we'll do it quickly here. It doesn't take very long at all. Let's add a port. Let's call this, we'll call it radio 1, because in the next video, there will be an explanation how to do a radio 2. It's going to be a CAT protocol. It tells us do this on COM4. It does that automatically. Slice A is also picked automatically here for you. If there are other ports around, you got to make sure you get this, not ports, slices. You want to make sure you get the A slice. And this is okay. You don't have to worry about what that says. And save it. That'll open a COM port. You can actually go see it in your Windows device manager. Okay, there it is. And it says it's, the blue tells you it's open. If it says no slice, you got a problem. You got to start over. All right, let's minimize this and open up SmartDX. SmartDX also needs to be connected to a radio, in this case, Jefferson. So we connect it. And again, make sure that the chooser says WebDX here. And when you pick WebDX, you should start seeing immediately activity in the received stream for the first slice. So as long as you see this activity here, you're fine. All right, let's minimize that. Now, we'd like to go ahead and start copying RTTY. The easiest thing is start with MMTTY. Assuming you've installed it, it's pretty straightforward. It's a simple one to install. Here's what it looks like. We've installed it. So it asks if we want to create one. Okay, now it's installed. We accept the default demodulator at 2125 for all remote ham radio stations at this point, unless you use Smart SDR. That's an advanced topic. All right, but we go to options and set up MMTTY. Again, the demodulator set for the standard 2125. It can be changed on that remote ham radio, but it's an advanced topic. In the TX tab, you want to make sure push to talk says none. In the miscellaneous tab, you want to make sure it says sound, which means AFSK for transmitting. And here's the critical one. For sound, you want to make sure you pick DAX audio RX1. Now, it looks like there's quite a few here, but actually, if you don't, in the most recent version of MMTTY 1.70, it gives you this checkbox here, which if you don't check it, you get this mess of all kinds of virtual COM ports, virtual DAX ports, and it's really hard to find what you're looking for. So if you've got it, click that, and it reduces the number down to something more manageable, and we want RX1 for DAX channel 1, which was selected back on the WebDX console. For transmitting DAX audio, TX is what will send the audio to the N1MM logging program. All right, that's it. We should actually be able to start copying RTTY here if we find a signal. There's one over here. Come on, let's copy RTTY signal. There it is, see, N5RZ calling CQ. All right, so MMTTY is working. Now we can close. You don't have to just minimize this, close it. Close and close MMTTY. Now we're going to open up N1MM, assuming you have installed N1MM according to the install procedures. Let's open it up. And you have to enter your call sign and your station data when you first create N1MM. I'm assuming you've done that. This has already created some stuff. I'll show you how we got this stuff here. I'm going to go ahead and close digital interface. Get that out of there. Okay, so how did we get here? First thing you need to do is go to configure your ports. We want to do hardware configuration for the COM4, which was the one that showed up in SmartCat. You may recall back here, SmartCat, it said radio 1, the COM1 on slice A is COM4. So COM4, we select from the chooser here. You select Flex 6000 series. You go to set, and in I'm sorry, wait a minute. What? That's okay. That's fine what I did here. But back up here, you want to have SO1V selected. You can do it before or after this, but this will be radio number 1. We don't have any other radios, so it's just radio 1. You set the parameters according to what it says down here on suggested flex settings. But another important and critical one is push to talk. We want push to talk selected as via radio command for digital modes. That's critical. That's what keys the transmitter for you. Okay, with all of that done, we now go to digital modes. And under digital modes, we want for our digital interface, we're going to open one, and that's what you use for RTTY. You select from the list, it might say none, but from the list, you select sound card. And then when you do that, it wants you to put in a path to your MMTTY. And mine happens to be located on my C drive in a HEM folder, subfolder called MMTTY Radio 1. That's the folder name. And in that folder is a program called MMTTY.exe. So that's what I select. You can select that from here. It'll open up your file manager, and you can go ahead and pick it. All right, and then we want AFSK. That's what we use on remote ham radio with flex radios. And that's it for this page. When you click OK, it should open up both this entry box where you enter your call signs when you work them, your QSO information. And then we want to go ahead and operate RTTY. And what did I miss something here? No, you just type in that we're going to be on RTTY into the entry window. And it opens up the digital interface one that we created with MMTTY. And it's now tracking the frequency, more or less. It's off by a certain part of the bandwidth. So let's see if we can find a station and copy that station. Well, hello. He's tuned in reasonably well, but not perfectly. It's a little hard to get it exact here on this interface when you're using it. I'm not using the best input device. There. Okay, with that, you see we're copying this guy just fine. So if N5RZ, if we're set up for the contest, and that's something else you have to do, for any use of N1MN, which I'm assuming you know how to do that. Okay, I'm going to give this guy a call, see how that works. Let's see if he calls QRZ. And when he does, I'll click on him and he'll go down into the entry box. There he goes. Thank you, 73. This is N5RZ. And I'm going to send to him my call sign. And sure enough, he comes back, gives me a report, 356, 1838. I give him a report. And he says, thank you. So that's it. That's how you do basic RTTY on remote ham radio using N1MM. So wish you all the best of good luck. Have fun.